Good morning. Welcome to another interesting episode of Techtalk with Afo. It's been a while, right? The last couple of weeks, we've been off air, and the reason is very obvious. The election and the bit of competition between the political party, the tension has been the reason why we felt that let's take a break. People should go and perform their civic duty. Right, but Tech Talk with Afo has not been on break technically because we've been up and about, busy, right?
Yeah.
Doing research on what we should do. The interesting tech topic we should have conversation about. This week, one of our friends joined us again. Priyazan is camera shy, but we want to bring him out of his shell, right? Smart, intelligent engineer. We're bringing Priyazan on set today, particularly because of the conversation around the future of work. Priyazan, for obvious reason, we know he's an Indian. And when we talk about the future of work, robotics, AI, and all of that, the Indians are also a major player in this space. So since we have Priyazan as one of our friends, we said, you know what, Priyazan, you have to come on set. So this week, our conversation is going to be around the future of work. We've been doing several research around this and how much work will be threatened or how much work has already been threatened. A lot of people will lose their job thanks to what AI, robotics, machine learning has been doing, right? And the earlier we're prepared for it, the better for us. So that's what our conversation will be around. So, our old friends, Kester, how are you doing today?
Doing very fine. I'm doing okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Good to be back. Ife?
Yeah,
Good to be back.
Good. Yeah. Good to be back.
If you look at how the topics we treated in the last couple of weeks have kind of helped move the country forward, let's start with our intervention on Emefiele's policy, right? Things are a lot better now. The whole Naira notes are gradually being introduced back to the system. They listen to us that this should have happened in phases, that you would need time for things to change. So it shows they are listening, right? In the last couple of weeks too, I've been busy writing letters. So I decided to join the letter writing thinking, right? I wrote a powerful letter to the president-elect that you have to really get serious, get things done. And we'll call him out if he's not doing, those things that we've mentioned in the letters. Before May 29, we should have his cabinet. From his cabinet, we can tell if he's really serious about uniting Nigeria. Anyways, let's go back to our topic, which is around the future of work. And this future of work, if the incoming administration is serious about moving Nigeria forward, this is one topic that, the conversation we're having today is something they also should listen to, right? And if you look at the effect of AI and robotics, machine learning to the future of work, particularly the kind of jobs we have in Nigeria, let's look at some of those jobs that AI and robotics is, going to kick out. As a matter of fact, this is happening faster than we can imagine, right? So let's start with those that their work revolves around data entry clerks, right? You're a secretary, you're a personal assistant, and all of that, right? You're a customer service representative. With AI, with robots, and some of those things we will talk about today, would you still need customer service representative, Kester?
Honestly, no. Those are the first things that will go out of place for people in terms of jobs. Those are the first kind of jobs that AI is going to really take charge of and be more efficient being AI as it is. So
in US,
Yeah.
driverless or self-driving cars are already being tested in some cities already.
Yeah.
And the effect of that is you will start seeing trucks without drivers, cars without drivers
Without
at some point.
drivers. Yeah.
And just do your numbers. How many millions of people are drivers? How
So
many millions of people are drivers? Go ahead, Ife.
so in the area of transportation, I think self-driving cars. So although we still have like a lot to do as regards the optimization of self-driving cars because considering US is well structured. So I can say that in terms of having a self-driving car in US, it is going to be a lot easier because it basically deals with mapping each location so you can arrive at your desired destination. But if we come down to Nigeria, we have a lot of places that are not really, although we have Google Map though, and I think these AIs are integrated into Google Map. But in Nigeria, like I don't think that will work for now, having a self-driving.
all the variables that
Yeah.
come in.
Yeah, but for it replacing humans, I think humans will be at the end of like trying to optimize the process. So instead of having drivers, we are basically going to be having humans that will do the like mapping of where they want.
Yeah.
I think it has a lot of
the point is this, right? AI robotics obviously would replace so many jobs, and it will also simultaneously create new ones, right? It is now for us to start calling people's attention to the new skill sets you want to have to be relevant in future. Priyazan, Ife a couple of weeks ago demonstrated what you can do with AI. Ife is a programmer, right? He has some programming experience, but Ife is still trying to, get better at it. So what Ife did was to use AI to come up with his code. He went straight to chat, GBT, get codes directly in a couple of seconds, and Ife rendered it to deliver what he wanted, right? So looking at it from that context, what that is also saying is that some software engineers, if really they don't get better at what they're doing, AIs would also write codes that they are currently writing.
Yeah, exactly. It is even right.
Prayers and correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, even AI is making codes by themselves, like to create it.
Good. Another group of workers that are threatened, and you have them in their millions. Assembly line workers in factories.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So to have a sense of what we're doing, I think the first video we want to look at, then we can analyze afterwards, will be the one of that assembly line, right?
Yeah. So that robot trying to like get boxes and arranging it.
Let me play the video, then we can discuss this afterwards. It's important for people to know that some new workers are coming, and these workers, they don't get tired. They don't complain about shift. They don't fall sick. Let me play the video.
Okay.
So from what we're seeing this robot guy, picking up items from the bin, putting it on the conveyor belt, sorting out the product. And these are things that people normally would do. Car manufacturing, normally you would have people on the line getting the parts, fixing it, knotting, and all of that. All of these things are changing. You would have Toyota factories, GM factories. On day, for example, They bought Boston Dynamics. Or what's the name of that company again? They bought Boston Dynamics. So if you look at this robot now, it looks like one of those Boston Dynamics robots.
Robots, yeah. So they just
Picking and stacking.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they just set it. Everything is basically about input output, and I think this is really positive for me because we as humans we need space to think and like innovate. So if we have something that is mundane like taking boxes, putting it, stacking it somewhere, is really not helping humans, and we just have to like develop something that will do those tasks so that we can now focus
You
on.
said it's really not helping humans.
Yes, picking up boxes. Okay,
You know-
you want to work 9 to 5, picking up boxes and arranging it.
That depend on that job for their livelihood, right? Thousands of millions of them.
No, I know your point. You are looking at it from the human perspective, right? Look at it from like innovation perspective. Like from human's perspective, like if because you have to get to a certain point where you would have a push, right? So if we are not innovative as humans collectively, we won't get to like have all these things in place, right? So it is just like it is an heads up for
we can't go against the tide. We can't go against the flow, right?
Exactly.
This is how the world is moving now. But the truth still remains that innocent people are going to be kicked out of their mundane jobs, right? That caters for their families. So it's still sad, even though it's the way the world is going now.
Guys, when the video was playing, I mean, I was laughing because Kester was lost in thought. Kester was like, "Oh my goodness, what is this world turning to?" And the conservative Kester, like we know him, is beginning to question technology as usual. That what is this world turning to? And just to pick from what Kessa is saying, guys, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, we did a research, right, on the gig economy.
yeah.
And that research opened our eyes to, millions, multi-millions of people that revolves around that industry, right? From delivery, like I like to call it tarmac. Right after this session now, I'm also going to hit the road, go on the tarmac. On the tarmac, you have millions of people in Nigeria. Just look at how many dispatch riders handling deliveries. These are the type of work this future of work will threaten.
I personally think this won't eliminate. It won't completely eliminate these jobs. It will only evolve these jobs. That's the thing. Like people are not going to be completely displaced.
Listen, okay. Let me just hold on this. Let's play this second video. You understand that people are being threatened, right? Right now, you have people that offer services to what's it called? Mental health therapists. You would book a session with them. You have psychologists and all of that. These type of jobs will be threatened. Watch this next video and see this human-looking robot. Human-looking robot. You will engage. You want to have conversation. I don't want to have conversation with Ife. Whatever I talk to Ife about, Ife in future will make it a laughing stock, and I don't want that. I want to have a conversation with my, when you go to church, right? You want to have a conversation with the priest. Surprisingly, the conversation you have with the priest, before you know it, is out there. This robot will not do that for you. Hold on, watch. Let's go again.
Okay.
Riyazan, watch this one. I want your thought about this.
Okay.
And she's kind of beautiful. Look at her expression.
Oh, Ameka.
Yes, sir. I want you, Ameka, now.
The reason for making a robot that looks like a person is to interact with people. So human face is a very high bandwidth communication tool. And that's why we built these expressive robots.
Can you see her expression? She was like this. Ameka was like this.
Very, very realistic. It looks expressive. It almost looks like a real human, but with a weird kind of plastic face.
Hmm.
There are humanoid robots that are functionally more capable in terms of walking, lifting, and things like that. In terms of the movement, in terms of the fluidity of it looking quite humanistic, it's come to being one of the closest, I would say.
Hmm.
See the expression, right?
Hmm.
And there are so many use cases for a robot like this.
Hmm.
Imagine a robot that has the visual expression and the movement of a human therapist that can interact with someone as a mental health expert. And it could be in a kiosk, in the mall, at the airport, where you just need someone to talk to and someone to chat with.
You see?
Hmm. Hmm. So,
This one, I don't think we have any issues here with the human-like form factor or anything like that. In fact, I think if anything, we will enjoy the experience. I think we will use it much more as a
That smile looks so big.
So just let's reflect on this, right? The same way it comes with, a baggage of opportunities in terms of what you can do, how much this would solve so many challenges we have. Without doubt, it also comes with a big deal of threat, right? So
yeah.
many people will lose their jobs, right? There's some things that you necessarily need people for now that with AI and robots, you don't necessarily need that anymore.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, I just want us to have a sense of balance. The essence of this is for people to start looking at it and asking questions. Okay, what skill set do I need in future to be relevant? What skill set do I need? So, for example, I'm also trying to look at jobs that um, AI and robots cannot necessarily replace, right? And it's still it's still in its infancy. We can necessarily say now that some jobs can be replaced. But as time goes on and you see more new innovation and all of that, even some of those jobs are threatened. So, for example, some of the jobs that I believe AI cannot replace for now, doctors and nurses, right? AI would complement them in terms of making
Yeah.
their job and work a lot better, but doctors and nurses will still be, I mean, that human factor in terms of using
Yeah.
initiative and all of that will still be necessary.
Yeah.
I still believe AI cannot replace teachers. It will be resources, it will be research point for teachers in terms of making their work a lot better.
Yeah.
Same for lawyers, right? Maybe some clerical assistance for lawyers would now be, I mean, unnecessary, right? Um, Journalists and broadcasters. So by the time you look at all this job function, you will see AI complementing them in terms of what they do now. But can it completely replace them?
No,
Creative professionals, Kester, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so either.
Yeah, social
I
workers.
think one thing that's like we can put into, like, we can group these jobs. One thing we can attribute to everything is empathy, right? Being conscious of your environment and the ability to process feelings. So if you look at in the area of medicine, we have doctors. At least you have, as a nurse, you have to like show some little bit of emotional empathy to your patients and all that. Also lawyers and like the jobs you've mentioned. Also in terms of like creative jobs like music and art. So these jobs are not like because the AIs we are currently developing, what we are just doing is feeding them data and them processing these data. But the ability to now like like create a new set of data from these existing data is not something
Empathy is something
they can
that they can achieve. Given time.
For now.
I don't think
For now.
Yes.
For now, right?
I don't
Okay.
I don't think so, because empathy goes beyond, if you are saying empathy, it means you're saying the AI, they are going to become aware, they are going to become self-aware, and they are going to become
Not
self-conscious.
necessarily a thought empathy, so they can follow a pattern of expression, countenance.
Expression. They have empathy. They
So
truly have empathy. If you look at America, right, she has empathy. I mean, as a matter of fact, they said that America is not a she or he. So I don't know how to describe it.
I just feel empathy goes beyond like just trying to feed.
It does, but they can fake it. That's the point, and fake it very well.
Anyways, I want to ask Priazan this very quickly, because one of the jobs that AI and robotics and all of that will threaten is the customer service industry.
Yeah.
And India is one of the major provider of customer service for the world.
Yeah.
Like customer service headquarters. You're getting support about a Microsoft solution, but trust me, the person you're speaking to is somewhere in India, maybe Bangladesh and all of that. Now, what do you think? Because look at the millions of people that are customer service agents in India. What's going to happen with AI technology?
So in that case, like in India, most of the people will lose their job. Like if customer service is totally changed by AI, like everything will be automation and AI. So in that case, India employees and workers will be lost their job. But we don't know how it will be in future. We need to take more look into it. We need to consider these things.
We have to reconsider. I think that's an important point. That a sense of balance at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right. How do we strike a balance? So seeing some of these things up close and personal, one of the things we did while the election was busy going on was also to, have. So I looked at two things in US actually. The first one I didn't record it, right? It was how they've used a bit of machine and robotics to manage libraries. I visited a library in US, right? And the library was operating differently, like library to operate, right? With little human interference. You want to pick up your books, right? Searching for your books, you are actually engaging a kiosk that was technically working like a robot. Okay, it tells you exactly which aisle to get your book, where to pick it, and all of that. And you're helping yourself without any human interference. You get the exact book you want. You check yourself in and check yourself out with your library card without necessarily engaging a librarian or whatever. And you also can see related books, related tutorials, because it's not just about books now. It also has the digital side of it. You want an audio book and all of that. You want to download, and it will be used for a period of time for you to either lose access and return it. Okay, and as if that was not so, I borrowed some books. Returning the books, right? I walked straight to, coincidentally, there was the customer service person I wanted to return my books to. And the lady politely told me, because she realized that this one was the one JJC. So she politely told me that just go over back to the cost and drop your book. So they also made the kiosk I was dropping my books transparent. So dropping the books, I can see the conveyor belt. I've been taking my books. So it was 3 books that I borrowed, right? The conveyor belt took the books to 3 different directions, 3 different bins, right? And after returning the books, so I expected that I need to go back and get them to check out the books from my account. But because all of these things have been factored, I don't even need to check out it automatically checks it out. That was my library experience. I really wish I recorded that session. You need to see the library, you need to see how all of those things work, right? And you ask yourself, what would be our takeout as a country, Nigeria? What would be our takeout as Africa, right? The rate at which technology is moving, right? I mean, we have a lot of work to do in terms of catch up. Okay, so let's look at this video now, the one that has to do with fast food and McDonald's, right? I mean, I just felt, let me record this session. So I went with my first son. Actually, went with my 3 boys. Okay, but it was my first son that featured, very shy guy that featured in the video with me. So let's look at that. Oh, okay. Here we go.
Yes. So we talk everything here was for purpose. But for the information we got, that it's actually not necessarily running on robots, right? But they have an amazing technology, and we want to see how the amazing technology works. We heard about it, and we realized to see how it operates. This is a concept talk by McDonald's, right?
This is the first concept.
The first concept talk,
Yes.
right?
I really like this lady.
Carly.
Yeah. Now she's accommodating.
Yeah.
Right, future of work is here. Right, the way we know McDonald's is not going to work like that anymore. You won't have stores where people will be there to serve you. So right now, she's going to show us how the store works. Can you tell us about the store?
Sure. So if you want to place your order, you're going to go 0.5 miles out of our geofence, just so you're away from the restaurant. Everything is done online. So you're going to go through your app and place your order. And when you place your order, it'll give you a code. So instead of going through the drive-thru like normal, you're going to pull through this special lane up to where it says order ahead. So number 1, you're going to confirm your order at the speaker right here. And then your number 2 order will be delivered through this conveyor belt underneath.
Wow, this is awesome. So, I mean, with this
If my cameraman is your good friend Khalid.
Khalid. TJ Omori.
In my opinion, get a lot more.
Khalid is our TJ Omori.
I personally say a lot less wrong. Like, not as much goes wrong when we're checking orders because they can hear everything we're saying right now. So through that speaker, they can hear me telling you. But yeah, so they can ask you if you want condiments. You can call us by our name so we can help you. If there's anything wrong with your order, we can fix it right here.
Oh, so part of what we had, we thought you guys have robots that are doing all the handing over of stuff. Is it just the conveyor belt?
It's just the conveyor belt.
Just the conveyor belt. So what efficiency has this brought to your operation? Like, how many orders do you do now?
So I would say this triples it because we have a whole other lane.
Oh, it triples.
Yes, so people can order.
So let me pause this and let's quickly react to this. There's something she said there. She said what this has done to their operation is it has tripled their performance, tripled their orders.
Efficiency. Wow.
Right? You see efficiency at work there.
Yeah.
Now, it's now not a case of this person is not available and all of that. So if you have a mix of technology and human to triple work as it is, now imagine what is going to happen, right? If you now have full automation. I just want us to really
exactly what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying, that these things would not necessarily eliminate the jobs we have in place. It will only evolve them. And the thing is, humans are going to have their own space. It is about complementing these robots and also trying to efficiently deliver what we are meant to do. As you can see from this, we still have a lot of people behind the scene doing the operations. Like, so the robot is just meant to, so eliminating those mundane tasks that are not really, that are a bit of time wasting is where we need robots at. So that's what I'm saying.
All right,
Like,
let's quickly watch the rest. And Kester and Priyazan, you guys want to talk about your key takeout from the video at the end of it?
It up. That way we don't have to have them going through the line. It takes a lot less time, so we're going very fast.
Oh, okay. Can you just show us around? So this is where those that are placing order with the conveyor belt comes. So then you have the drive-through. But apart from the drive, so if we want to like order and eat in, we have positions for that.
So we don't have a place to sit down. You're more than welcome to come and stand in the lobby. We do have that center kind of island table, but everything is ordered at the kiosk. If you want to pay cash, we do have people in the front that can like cash it out for you. But everything is done automated. And you can customize it however much you want.
Oh, okay. So right now we are here at the store. We'd like to place our order out. What I would love to do is to place our order, right?
And get it here.
And
So the only way to do it is to go outside the geofence.
this is outside the geofence.
So how many miles away from the geofence?
0.5.
0.5.
So just down the street a little bit.
So down the street a little bit. Everything is included through the conveyor belt. So before coming here, we place our order first. And we take to see how the conveyor belt works. But very quickly, we just want to take a tour around the facility. Come over, let's show you how the facility is. So we can where we will get our order. Right? We also have the laptop of where we can just like our order. But today our plan is to use the conveyor belt. Right? Hopefully this lecturer will tell us how it works and how to place our order. We will have to get inside. Are you still recording? Let's continue. So for those that are, so they have provision for gig drivers that would pick up orders on behalf of people and make delivery. So like I mentioned, we have different options. You can either walk into the store, right, place your order here and pick it directly. This is where all the magic works. So you can see so many people putting the orders together and getting it ready for delivery. Let me say hi to our friend. It's about to go outside.
Yes, it's somebody's on.
Over there. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So right now we're about to drive through to see how this works. We placed our order, and now we want to see how the conveyor belt will deliver our order to us. Yes, our order number is what again? 2076. 2076 is our order number. So our order is going to come down the conveyor belt. We already placed our order via the application about a mile away, and we're expecting it to deliver down to us now through the conveyor belt.
Look at how a lot of technologies we are familiar with are working together. Geofencing, geotagging, application.
Yes, that's my order.
Wow, a lot of engineering was like this is amazing.
Well, I'm sure someone that is talking to us, definitely not a robot. Right, so we're waiting for our order now. We place it at a mile away, and it will be delivered. Is that?
Ranch
And
buffalo sauce
buffalo sauce
and honey mustard.
and honey mustard. Two of each.
Garlic.
All right. All right, we're waiting for our order to be delivered via the conveyor belt.
Yes, you have to pay your cameraman for this professional job. At some point, he was also zooming in and zooming out.
Yeah.
live and direct. All right. I think that's about it, guys. We've seen, we've tested, and we've seen the way it works. McDonald's operation from technology standpoint fully automated.
McDonald's should pay us for this because I'm sure this is also going to help their sales. Anyways, Kester, your thoughts before we come to Priyazan.
So one thing I see here, even when I watch the whole video, there is a good combination of the AI, the robots, and people.
People, yeah.
Right? And I believe that is because all of this is still in its early stage.
Yeah.
Right? You say there is going to, just like what you were saying, it doesn't necessarily take away the jobs, and that is true to some extent. But I also believe that with time, right, with due time, even the jobs, the things that the humans are doing, right, they will find a way to also make a process for AI to
do it.
And
so we can move to advanced things. That's nice.
That's good.
That's good.
Okay. See, what I would just say, really, what I would just say, like I said, we can't fight with the tide.
Exactly.
So what I would just say, right, is for people, especially people that find themselves doing all these mundane manual jobs, right, data entry and stuff like that, you want to up your skill. You want to go and get something that is just like I said earlier, that's going to be relevant in the future. Because by the time these things start happening, really they are just going to be a kind of sad story. You understand?
Yeah.
And the world will move on, just like how it always has.
Yes.
Right. So we just need to keep upping our skill and trying to.
Priyazan.
Yeah.
Priyazan, what are your own takeouts?
So here everything is automation with combination of technology. All the aspects they have made, and it is reducing like cost-wise, labor cost, everything it has been, and people are more likely to addict to that because it is very convenient for people to easily get the food items to not only food items like everything. So people are more addicted to automation. So nowadays, so I don't know how it will be future. So it will be due to people needs to be like workers needs to be more like to have develop their skills to have a competition with AI. Like
very good point. So for me, it has actually been more of reflecting, right? So my question has always been, ever since this conversation around machines, robotics, and AI started, I was coming from the angle of what role Nigeria as a country can play, right? Africa as a continent, what role can we play? Are we going to continue to be a consumer nation? Are we going to continue playing catch-ups, right? What niche can we identify with? Nigeria also should stand for something in the context of this, right? Already you would see a lot of rivalry between China and US when it comes to electric cars and all of that. Now we're already talking about machine learning and AI. Now there's this back and forth between US. You can see a lot of competition, intellectual competition, right? And that will take us to some of our tech news, something we'll still discuss on now, right? On how countries are already taking position, doing everything to outsmart each other. Okay, you can have TikTok in my country if Facebook is not allowed in your own country and all of that. Google is not allowed in your country. Why should I allow TikTok in my country? And it's now a conversation of how much, because on the China side too, they've managed to allow TikTok to win the hearts of so many American users. It's even a question of, what's your problem? After all, these are my information, right? Let China use it for all I care. I just want to enjoy my TikTok. Do you understand? So countries are taking position. What position can we take as Nigerians or as Nigeria as a country? What should batify, obedient, articulate, right? What should be our focus, right, in the future of work, the reality of things?
So I was reading a LinkedIn article from someone a few weeks ago. So he stays in Canada and he kind of processes this visa for people from Nigeria trying to migrate. So, and he has been doing this over the years. So he was just putting out some concerns that he had about the future of Nigeria in the intellectual space, right? So apparently there are some schemes that you go through, like rigorous, tough schemes that you go through to get into some certain platforms internationally, right? And you need to be the top of top in your intellect, right? To be able to pass and go through with it. So what he was saying in essence was that year in, year out, every year, lots and lots of Nigerians are running from the country, taking this, process to go abroad. That the intellectual capacity of the country is seeing less reason to remain in the country due to the situation, and then trying to put themselves outside the country to quote unquote be more relevant with their intellectual capacity. So this now begins to cause a worry, right? We are losing the smart, because we are in Nigeria. This is something like more like a general knowledge. We are very smart in this country. We are very intelligent, right? But more and more people that are these intelligent people, they want to get out. And sadly, I'm also one of these people, right? I'm also looking at the future where, and this is the truth, I'm also looking at the future where I build a big life outside the country, right? And the situation of the country has not allowed me see that possibility where I can be to my fullest here without going outside. So this may be a shortcoming on my part and the part of people like that.
Okay.
But
we get your own situation, and I don't know what I can do to change your mind or whatever, right? But my point is this, right? Nigeria is still our country, right? And Nigeria will still continue to exist. We're talking about 200 million people and all of that, and from policy standpoint, we might not necessarily have the answer to it now, right? But I also believe that we have a sense of what the future of work will look like. We need to start from that policy standpoint, from the leadership of this country, the technocrats and all of that. Nigeria should be thinking about what position should we take, like which area of this value chain that we really can develop ourselves and let everybody rely on Nigeria for this aspect of the future of work, right? For this aspect of the future of work, there are people like Kester, whatever he has achieved abroad, he would now see a reason why he has to be back in Nigeria because the economy is so strong. The GDP has increased because this technology, the future of work, for example, the robots, let's say, what's the name of, for every computing, for every computing, you need, what's it called? You need processor speed, right? And that's the space you have the likes of Intel dominating and all of that. At the end of the day, you still need to get an Intel chip to really achieve that speed you want to achieve, okay? Now, so just imagine if Intel was a Nigerian thing. When China had issues with manufacturing, so many companies were affected because most of what they needed to get things going depends so much on China. The same thing happens. So when you talk about medicals during COVID, India played a very important role in terms of manufacturing the vaccines and all of that. So I'm just saying that as a country, I believe there is a niche. There's something that Nigeria can also capitalize on. I don't have answer to it, right? But I believe we should start thinking in that direction, figure it out, and make it happen. Let's move to other tech news, right? Ife, please run us through the other tech news or the
Yes.
major tech news we want to discuss today.
Okay, so first we'll be talking about the Congress showdown between TikTok CEO and Congress. Yeah, members of the Congress. So
the guy was placed on hot seat. Do you want me to play the video very quickly, or Kester wants to talk about it first?
Yeah, let me just. When I was reading about it, it was interesting because for almost anything, Republicans and Democrats, they never align, right? But for this very reason, so one person even made a statement that he commended him that Mr. Chiu, you have successfully united Democrats and Republicans, right? Because majority of them do not want TikTok to remain in the country. They even went as far as asking him, do your children use TikTok? And he said no. Right?
Oh my God.
Said no. His children do not use TikTok. Although he gave his reason that in the country where they are, it's not allowed and all of that.
Yeah.
Right? But it makes you wonder, like, okay, so it's not allowed, right?
In India. They banned TikTok in India.
So people need to
they what? They did?
They said they banned TikTok in India.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like 1
year or
2 years before.
How many years ago?
What I just like was that what's his name? Zhao, what's his name? Chiu. He was like patient all through, and he like articulated all his points. Yes. You know, USA now they will try to make you feel down, and so it was just calm, and it was calm. Like, giving every they'll just spear out training. They'll just find a way to like make you. They'll sweep you off.
Let's watch the video. Let's watch the video. Guys, let's watch the video. Hold on. But it's very short, right? Just for you to okay.
You have regular contact with Chinese Communist Party Secretary, Mr. Zhang Fuping, who is your boss at ByteDance, correct?
No.
The TikTok and ByteDance share legal teams. You confirmed this, correct?
Our general counsel is an American lawyer, veteran of Microsoft.
Also, my colleague, Representative Vladik, confirmed that your parent company, ByteDance, currently can access user data. Yes?
We have to be more specific.
Yes.
We've actually done something that in the last 3 to 4 years has not happened, except for the exception of maybe Vladimir Putin. You have unified Republicans and Democrats. I have a TikTok app on my phone, and my phone is on my home Wi-Fi network. Does TikTok access that network?
You will have to access the network to get connections to the internet, if that's the question.
Is it possible then that it could access other devices on that home Wi-Fi network?
Congressman, we do not do anything that is beyond any industry norms.
The Chinese Communist Party is engaged in psychological warfare through TikTok to deliberately influence U.S. children.
There are more than 150 million Americans who love our platform, and we know we have a responsibility to protect them.
So the point I was making a while ago, right? Still the global power competing, right? This is US here seeing China as a threat, right? And trying to curtail or deal with China, call them out, because TikTok, to a large extent, has really every other American technology. I mean, they are still struggling to catch up with the influence and what TikTok has been able to achieve, right? So the undertone for me is not just about what TikTok is getting in terms of information. It is more from a competition standpoint. Or what do you guys think?
I think it's that information actually, because ByteDance as the major company of,
Yeah, ByteDance.
yeah, so they have data of American citizens, and if you check,
what about Google and Apple Pay?
yes,
I think they are just being critical. Like actually,
it's not
because
because they are those ones, they are US citizens, right? But this is China. There could be potential.
China uses Apple Pay now. They use Apple Pay. And Apple is the US company.
Hold on. So hold on, and that's, you can see the balance, right? And I really want us to be objective. I don't want to be biased, right? Apple sells their phones and what have you globally.
Yes.
And I think their biggest market is China.
China. Yeah, they use this.
After
they even integrated WeChat.
Yeah. Okay. If you look at it from that standpoint, let's even discuss Zoom. Zoom is, I think Zoom, the founder of Zoom is a Chinese too, right?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. But the point I'm saying is the TikTok is not necessarily the only company that has or warehouses global information. The conversation we're having is on a particular server that is most likely in US. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
So whichever way you see it, yes, US will tell you that, oh, I have data protection, blah, 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 privacy and all of that. But that information still resides where? Okay? But right now, US is now jittery. US cannot stand the fact that another country is also warehousing its own data. I don't know how to explain this, but I see that element of jealousy.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the funniest things is that TikTok CEO is a Singaporean.
Yes.
He's not necessary. So he's trying to like tell them that it was like saying it that this is
the question of
bringing in Chinese or something affiliated with ByteDance. Like, but they just want him to mention China and let us just cancel TikTok.
Just cancel TikTok.
But just to check this, TikTok, I was watching a YouTube video. They did a full analysis on how they are kind of data collect. Like, it's not the normal way, right? They also track your behavior. It's too personal.
Facebook and Instagram are doing the same thing.
They are doing the same thing. And what TikTok does is that they only use it to make all these filters, like your facial expressions and everything.
They are doing the same
because he explained it that they are not necessarily taking. They are not.
It's just, you know, when
they are just like
it's a case of your student
incorporating it into AIs.
Is a question of your student getting better at it, getting better at what you taught, right? TikTok learned whatever they've learned from Facebook and Instagram.
Look at Meta, look at Google. They are also collecting people's information now. Okay, look at OpenAI. You want to tell me OpenAI did not go into like
how many times has Google been fined in Europe? Yeah. What brought about GDPR? Hello, Kester, let's leave that thing. Anyways,
so there's one other news. There's this.
Let's move to that tech fact. Yes,
Putin is strengthening the yuan's role as Russia's foreign currency of choice. So this week, Putin and Xi Jinping, they met and
Yeah.
they've agreed to make the use of yuan for
RMB, yes.
international. Yeah. So Putin said, we are in favor of using the Chinese yuan for settlements between Russia and the countries of Asia, Africa, and Latin America. I'm confident that these forms of settlements in yuan will develop between Russian partners and other counterparts in third countries. How is that going to affect America? Like dollar, eh? What are your thoughts about this?
Well, you see, again, it also still comes back to this psychological warfare, right? So there was a conversation I was having with someone. I said, why Americans still remain dominating, right, is a case of um, two fathers, right? You have one father that is very strict, very wicked, very selfish and self-centered. You have the other father that is very cunning, but very nice, right? And the children of the wicked father, the cunning father goes attract the cunning father's and the wicked father's kids and said, "Oh, your father is so wicked. Your father is. He didn't even allow you have good education. Your father will be eating chicken and he will give you crumbs. Come to my own flat, right? He will take care of you, give you everything." After a while, the cunning father will now tell the child of the wicked father, because he has technically attracted children of the wicked father to his own flat. And he will come back and say, check your daddy's wardrobe. I'm sure the title document for your property is in his wardrobe. Bring it for me. US works, is mindful of people's concern, people's emotion, and all of that. What you seem not to have in your country in terms of leadership, in terms of what have you, US will guarantee you all of that. Okay? So it's like what we've just analyzed now. See the way Kester has reacted. Kester is comfortable with his information in US. Okay, because US to a large extent have demonstrated that sense of transparency and all of that. And that's why they've remained dominating. So if you have RMB as the what's it called, international legal tender, you'll be worried. Look at what's it called, the news around China trying to take over countries in Africa, take over countries by virtue of the loan they extended to them. But people are comfortable you've been transacting with dollar for a long time without necessarily knowing how much US is benefiting from it. I guess it is until recent time that people are beginning to say, wait a minute. The fact that we are all using, US is just printing paper for us and we're all running helter-skelter to keep that paper, right? They just keep manufacturing the paper, okay? So now another country is trying to get into the game. So what I'm trying to say just to respond to your question is the fact that RMB is still, RMB is coming from China.
Yeah.
If you put it to the countries they are trying to compete for, let's use India, for example. India sees China as a competitor, whether you like it or not. Yeah. You just mentioned India long ago banned TikTok, right? So do you think India will be comfortable using RMB as their legal tender? They would rather still go for.
But now we have to look at African countries. You know, we've had a lot of African countries like accepted the use of they've accepted Chinese into their countries to like develop their, like they've struck deals, different kind of deals with most of these Chinese companies. So with this new implementation, how is it going to because Africa would be like in between, because Africa is like basically being controlled by America, and now we have
so that we can move to other things. Yes, to have an alternative to US dollars makes a lot of sense. right? But does that mean this will completely become a major threat to US dollars? Not necessarily so, right? Because trust me, the dollars will still remain very competitive, right, in terms of who you can do business with and all of that. And if you also look at the dependence on it, right, it's still going to be a major factor. But it makes sense for us to have, an alternative to dollar, just to have a balance, right? Kessa, can we move on to a couple of other facts before we bring this show to an end?
Okay, let me share some tech facts for the week. So, which is older, email or www? Let me ask you, which do you think is older?
Priyazan, which one is older?
Let's throw out that question to our viewers also, so they can.
To our audience, which one is older?
Yeah.
Okay. We should not put the answer here now.
Yes. Don't let us.
I don't know. I don't even know the answer. So our audience will answer that.
Okay. Yeah. So let's move on to another fact. This one was very interesting, and we see a lot of stories like this. Google was put on sale in 1999. Right. So in 1999, Yahoo and Excite, if you remember Excite, that's
Excite website.
Yes. So they held the top spot in search engine popularity. Larry Page pitched a sale of Google to Excite CEO. Imagine, George Bell. So Page wanted $750,000 for Google and 1% of Excite to let go of the fledgling search engine.
$750.
At the time,
I'll gladly pay.
Bell considered the offer competitive except for one detail. Page wanted Excite to ditch its search engine topology and adopt Google's system for Bell to play. Where is Excite today?
I'm sure if it doesn't even. So many people in your generation would not even know what Excite is.
I swear, I'm just hearing of Excite. I'm not going to lie. I'm just hearing of Excite for the first.
How many websites exist in the World Wide Web?
That is over 1.5.
No. Hold your thought. Our audience will answer.
We should also have this like the last one.
Our audience will answer. Hold your thoughts. Maybe 1 million, maybe 500,000. I don't even know. Right? How many websites do we have? And these days, when you are searching for domain name, you are so confused that what you are even thinking about, someone already took it. People are warehousing domain name, looking at what they can sell it to.
And there's something I just want to put something I think the era of websites is coming to an end, because now that we have AIs for everything. So if you visit this website, you see something.ai, something.ai. So I think instead of having a website now, I think the development will now be around having AI applications. So not necessarily website that will do everything for you. What do you think?
Yes. Guys, it has been a very interesting conversation. We can go on and 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 on, and we'll be here forever. Right? The future of work, the future of work, the future of work, the future of work is here to stay. You have to live with it, whether you like it or not. It is here to stay. It is just up to you as an individual to look at how you would remain relevant in that future that is here. Every day, what I'm trying to figure out is, Afo, how will you remain relevant? Priyazan, how will you remain relevant in the future of work? If the skills that mechanical engineering that you studied in University of Ife is not enough, right? You have just to keep relearning before ChatGPT takes your job, before, what's the name of that beautiful girl that we saw a while ago? Aneka. Before Aneka takes your job, and so many more of that is still going to come out. For our political leaders, this is very important to them. They should listen. what niche can Nigeria be responsible for that the world would look out for us? What can we do to build that strong economy and GDP that is not consumption dependent? What can we be known for that people like Kester would have a reason to say, you know what, I want to get things done here, right? That challenge, that call, we're calling out the president-elect. We are calling out the opposition. Who is the opposition leader now? Is it Obi or Atiku? I don't even know anymore. Anyways, we're talking to our leaders that we really need to make things work. The future of work without technology, whatever policy you have without technology is incomplete. Until we meet next week again, this is Tech Talk with Afo. If you want to enjoy our conversation, where will you find us?
So you can search for Tech Talk with Afo on IG or follow Afolabi Abiodun on IG. On YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We want more subscribers. And put in your comments, put in your thoughts on every videos. There are a lot of Buddhists to be won, I guess.
Yes. So on that part, just like the question we asked, you could drop your answers to the question on the comment section, right? There is a whole lot of opportunities for goodies and giveaway. And another piece of information, going forward, right, we are going to be having extra piece of content beyond our episodes, right?
Yeah.
Where we put out new tech innovations, inventions, something fun, right, for you to, and it's going to come up every day to your screens for you to watch and be informed on the new, right? So just follow us, engage, and we're good.
Yeah.
Tech Talk with Afo. Thanks to Ife and Kester, they are always, putting their minds and head together on what should happen. Special thanks to Priyazan that also featured this week on Tech Talk with Afo. Next week we also will be having more interesting guests.
Afo, what's that Priyazan song?
Shock and surprise.
Priyazan song.
Priyazan. Priya from Bangalore in India. Priyazan. Thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.